In order to better understanding what the client should do, today I would like to talk more detail about the initial management which I mentioned on the last video clip. Some of the audience may not be familiar with the word initial management. If you understand its only linguistic meaning, it can be said that is a natural procedure to predetermine the necessary elements in advance and preparation for them before starting any project works. Yes, it's right. But especially in case of important projects such as the construction of a semiconductor factory called to timing industries, it is no exaggeration to say the necessary elements for a project through more advanced initial management process that must be closely connected and linked correlated matters to the end. This kind of conceptual understanding and execution is a very important point to determine the success or failure of an extremely huge cost and risk investment project. By the way, it will not be enough to explain to you in detail about it with only this video clip. So I try to inform you it's a general outline to help you getting a conceptual understanding. Then you can be catching up what the important points are and why it should be adapted to make a large-scale project successfully. In most cases, there would be preparing the necessary items for any construction process. Many of the unit tests must have been done by linking to each other with only an inter-organization work area, and each team tries to handle it through an independent responsibility and process. Although it isn't wrong way in terms of the division to work with following the role of organization under the normal structure. And occasionally it will be sometimes proceeding well. But for getting a better goal and having a more flexible pipeline, we need to understand that each of these entities have to give and take the information more actively. It is an effective way to minimize losses of their project schedule and cost. For many cases, you should know that these internal cooperations make the project much more effective and successful. Especially in case of a great significant project that should be done with fast track, advanced initial management will be even more essential thing, because the understanding and the cooperation with each team through the initial management strategy is an important factor in determining the success or failure of the project. And I dare to say, this procedure can influence for more than 80 to 90% of the overall project performance output. Because, as I mentioned before, when constructing a semiconductor factory, we do not only target the latest ones, but also devices that have not been developed yet. In this reason, we should have corresponding to many changes following to the production of target devices in the near future. In semiconductor factories, various factors are constantly changing due to devices being continuously developed during operation of factory. We should consider to make responding to this, and various countermeasures should be adapted to their plan even if it was in middle of construction period. That's why initial management is an important procedure to make all organizations' goals focusing on the final long-term target and well cooperate with fully understanding their recent status and what would be done in the near future. And this is the most essential and necessary strategy for future plan with expansion or retrofit a fab line without undesirable losses. Today I talk about initial management. In order to implement this, data on the various conditions of the currently operating factory and the infrastructure status are essential, and a basic concept for future product and line operation strategies must be established. This is an important matter for the client to prepare, and based on this, the factory should be designed so that the designer can make a maximized performance having the necessary functions and roles.